All right, welcome everyone. This is maybe episode 8 or 9. I don't even know, but we are Rebecca and Erica, and this is Conversations with Two Medical Intuitives. And you're not going to see our faces because I'm making a ton of faces that you can't see. And I do that. And I do that kind of involuntarily when I'm doing clearings, and I don't feel like caring what I look like right now. And I didn't brush my hair. So there you have it.
Well, that's interesting too, Becky, because a lot of people, not a lot, well, quite a few people have said, yeah, you know what, you should really show your face, it'd be so much better. And I'm like, no, we
Well,
purposely put up cartoon characters.
yeah. Yeah. By the definition of what a podcast is, this by definition should not be, and there should be no video whatsoever.
Right. Exactly. So, but it is interesting. It is
Yeah.
interesting in this day and age too, when social media and everything and just
Yeah.
a way for people to escape. And
Yeah.
but yeah, no, this is definitely a lot better for me anyway
Yeah.
too. But
It
I
is.
did brush my teeth, but again, like you, I did not brush my hair.
Well, okay. And if those of you listening to the other episodes, that was a huge reason why I wasn't coming out publicly, because I don't want image to be in the way. So this kind of fell together nicely where I'm more interested in the energy of the content and
Mhm.
don't give two shits about, what I look like.
You know what's
Right?
really interesting? I just bought a shirt for a friend of mine, and it says, and she wanted on it, "I don't give two shits."
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
had it personalized for her. Oh, so it's just really interesting that you said that. And I mean, literally, she just got it yesterday. So,
That's cute. It's cute. And then I love it. I love it. And then
mhm.
what was the other thing about, and then, just for those listening too, my healing sessions during the week are over the phone also. Again, I prefer it for the sake of I'm looking at the energy system, the energy field, and not so much what you're looking like, like I want
Mhm.
to hear like the what we don't notice. In fact, I'm going to close my eyes right now because you get a feel for what the F is going on a lot better for me anyway. And I think, Erica,
Mhm.
have a similar opinion, right? As a
Oh,
healer.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think we as humans in our own innate nature, we prejudge things
Yeah.
or we try to put it into a box of what we understand. And when you can't see things, you actually are forced to use your other senses to pick
Yeah.
up on things. And so that's why I agree with you too, is that over the phone, you don't get, tied down or distracted by the other things going on, but you could really truly hone into what vibration that person is giving out, what their body's giving out, what
Right.
their aura looks like, all those different things. And
Right.
so I completely and totally agree with you 100% about um, non-video when doing
Yeah.
vibrational work. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, it is possible, but to do it with video, but I think you can reach a deeper level
Right.
without video.
Right. And I want to go deep. That's kind of my thing.
Mhm.
I don't deep when I say deep, I know if that gets people in a tizzy for any reason, I want truth,
Right.
the core truth, because it's the truth that heals us. It's not all this fluff BS crap on the surface. I don't care about that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I absolutely agree with you. I can't tell you how many times I would talk to people and be like, okay, there's one thing coming out of your mouth, but your body is saying something totally different.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Exactly. That's just one example. Yes.
Yep.
It's like, let's get to the truth.
Yes.
Stop BSing me, right? Like you could see it. It's like, oh my God, they're so out of alignment. They're saying one
Yep.
thing, they're doing another. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell somebody, I'm going to go by what you're saying, regardless of what you really want. I am going to go by what you're saying and what you want that you're actually telling me, because
Mhm.
I can't figure out if you tell me one thing, but you really mean a different thing and expect me to do that different thing, even though you're telling me something different.
Right.
Can you follow that? I mean,
Right. Right.
and so it's like whatever's coming out of your mouth as to what you would like, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
So if you want to tell me something differently now, okay. And this is, I'm talking in everyday life now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give an example of somebody who's like, oh, I don't want a birthday party. I don't want this. I don't want that. And when you know kind of full well that they do, but they don't want to be off putting.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like, oh, you know what? I'm going to tell you, if you're telling me you don't want a birthday party, I'm not going to plan a birthday party for you.
Right. Even though you know damn well that they do, they just don't want to admit it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So this is where you kind of, where I, in a way, is like, okay, if you want a birthday party, you have to tell me. And then it always turns into, well, something small might be nice, but it actually holds people accountable too, of just like,
Mm-hmm.
you have to tell the truth. You have to be upfront with people. You can't
Yeah.
expect one thing when you're telling them another thing.
Right.
So
And
anyway.
we're working on our own truth too. So like we're just again for those listening, we're not preaching perfectionism.
Mhm.
Like the unfolding is constant. Like the unfolding of the unconscious is constant, and we're constantly honing and figuring out who we are and what our truth is. But I think maybe what separates me from someone else is that I'm real about it.
Mhm. Right.
Know? So, and I'm aware of the more of the process of what is evolving and unfolding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, and that's what I absolutely love about you is your truth and your search for the truth and your being truth, and just holding that staff like in the ground, like this is the truth. And
Yeah.
then even though at times there are times where it may not be my truth, I respect you for holding your truth and this is what you believe.
Right.
And same for you, like things that I may believe, but I'm holding my truth, you may not always agree with, but
Right.
we can honor and respect each other because it's the truth of what we know to be true for
Yeah, in that
ourselves.
moment. Right.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right. Like that's what's true for us right now, and
Hmm.
we're doing the best that we can in that moment.
Right, exactly. And we're always open to new ideas and open to change and open to those kind of things because
Yeah.
we don't have all pieces of the puzzle all at once. I mean, what's the fun in
Right.
that?
Right, right. Well, we certainly don't because our presence here on Earth would indicate that. I mean, if we were all pure, perfect, true, we would evaporate.
That's so true. It's like, yep, I'm out. I like this vibration better. Later.
I mean, our body would just like, yeah, like just combust or something. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yep. Yeah.
So you mentioned so we have two callers coming on. We have Sue who's coming on first and then Linda. Hopefully all that goes well. But
Hmm.
but Erica, you mentioned some things that you were wanting to discuss and I just want to pull that up if we could talk lightly about that. And I jokingly say lightly. Uh, but we were talking you mentioned like intuitive integrity.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Um, so I know early on in one of our podcasts, we were talking about how I'm coming out of the proverbial spiritual closet and things like that,
Yeah.
where not really anybody knew what I was capable of or what I can do.
Yeah.
And so people have been listening to our podcast and they're like, so they started asking me questions like, so you can see? So like you can see my aura? Like what else can you see? It's like
Mhm.
almost they start to cringe. Like I'm
Mhm.
like, oh no, no, no. Yes, I have the ability to do that, but and I may see things, but it's not my responsibility to point everything out. Like
Yes.
it's not turned on all the time.
Yeah.
Like I've worked very hard to be able to like straddle two worlds in a sense.
Yeah.
So whereas if I'm completely open, I could see all these different things, and I mean that's another topic. And then this world where it's just functioning in society and
Hmm.
living a human life in a
Yeah.
way. And so when I'm interacting, say at work or any groups or any gatherings or things like that, I don't look at those things. I purposely not look at somebody or see somebody, and I don't analyze people. So um, this kind of brought up where it's like, wait a minute. So if I'm getting these few questions here in this small group, then it's like there may be other people that have these kind of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of wanted to put out there that even though an intuitive can see those things, they have a great responsibility to either not share or share what they're supposed to share,
Mm-hmm.
or just look at it as is and just be a witness to what they're seeing. So
Yeah.
it's not like if you're interacting with an intuitive, it doesn't mean they're analyzing you and picking up on this and picking up on that and knowing
Right.
this. It's okay. As an intuitive that has done their work, they're not gonna be like, oh my gosh, well, you have these kind of issues, so I'm not gonna talk to you or this or that, or you know what I mean? So
Right.
um that's kind of one side of it where it's just letting people know that there is intuitive integrity
Mm-hmm.
and how important it is for an intuitive to have integrity
Yes.
and to be conscious. Yes, they can see those things, but they don't have to share it. Or, hmm, let's see, how do I want to say that? It's so important because you could really hurt a person if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
intuitive integrity,
Mm-hmm.
to, especially if you're helping them.
Mm-hmm.
It's so damaging to a person if you don't have that integrity.
Yeah. So that's
Um,
another word for boundaries.
Yes, yes, but boundaries, but ethics also.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, because for example, like I had gotten into a chat with a friend of mine who's a social worker.
Mm-hmm.
And when she has a client that she works with, there can be no personal relationship. There can be no friendship.
Yeah.
It's against the rules for the entire, because that person is coming to them for counseling, for therapy, that kind of thing. And so in their ethic, their licensing and their code of ethics and things like that, they can't be friends for the duration of that relationship,
Right.
or for the duration of the lifetime. They could never be friends, even though. And in like the esoteric world, I know there really are no guidelines for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I think it's super important when somebody takes uh, I don't want to say it's a superior role, but like a parental role over a person
Mm-hmm.
that they're trying to help them. It's
Mm-hmm.
really important not to muddy the waters,
Yeah.
because if a person's trying to go through their thing and then it's like, oh yeah, I'll see you for drinks, but then it just muddies it, and it does not work. And
Yeah.
usually the person that ends up getting hurt is the person who is seeking the help.
Who is seeking the help? Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. This is yes, I've experienced this, and this is a really big topic. What do I want to say about that? Um yeah, I've heard, and then gee, I don't even know if I want to get into this right now because I know we have a caller coming on. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm so glad you brought this topic up. This is fascinating. What do I want to say about it? Um,
Yeah, no, it's a really big topic, and I think it's something that really needs to be looked at,
yeah,
as people start understanding more about energy and vibration and frequency and things like that.
right.
And I think it's, something that really does need to be unpacked moving forward, because there are some people out there who get, like, say, a coaching license or like counseling, but it's not true, but there's no really code of ethics set in stone. Does that make sense?
Oh, I'm totally with you.
Yeah,
I'm
to
totally with you.
protect the person that they're supposed to be helping.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so maybe that's a topic for another time where we could really dive into it, or
yeah.
because it was just something that came up, and it just dawned on me when she's like, oh, you can see me, and it's like, wow, if there was a person that, really could see all these different things about a person. It would freak a person out. It would freak me out.
Right.
There was one instance where I was at some gathering and a person came up to me and she started reading my energy. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No,
Yeah.
it's like I didn't ask for help and I didn't know this person. And she's like, well, this, and this. And I'm like, you know what? No, it's okay. I'm good. And so later on, we kind of had a little chat and it's like, she thought it's like, well, if I see something, people would want to know this is going on in their body or they would want to know this. And then it's like, well, no, you're taking away somebody's choice by doing that. And it may not be
Mm-hmm.
yours to share, even though you can see those things, doesn't mean that you could actually, it's your right or your responsibility to point it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Or like what could have been, what she could have done is saying, she could have come up to you and said, "Hey, I just want you to know that I see a couple of things. I don't know if you're interested," or somehow pointed out
mhm,
to you like where you're deciding like what you're comfortable with, and she's being respectful of, I'd love to help you. I've got this little nudge of I don't know how she would have
yeah.
worded that, but just to, privately pull you aside and say it with respectfully.
Yeah, I happened to be in the middle of a conversation with two other people. And so it's just like, and so they heard what she was saying. And she's like, no, I was talking quietly. And I was like, no, you weren't. They heard you.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So,
completely out of line.
yes, yes. And, and I'm grateful and thankful, that she can see that. And this particular person was and is incredibly talented and intuitive.
Hmm.
It's just sometimes you need to give the person the option of whether, because most people would be like, oh my gosh, yeah, what do you see? What do you see? But there are other people that are very private and don't want to see those things. So that's why, intuitive integrity is what popped into my head about how,
Yeah,
what I reacted to when this person's like, oh my God, you can see me, you can see this and that all the time. And so it's just something that I think that really needs to be unpacked as we move forward, as
right.
more people waking up.
Right. And it's just simply appropriateness. Like just because, there is that insight, that awareness does not mean that doesn't give you a license to be inappropriate or disrespectful to someone's
Hmm.
boundaries.
Right.
It, it all has to go together. So,
Yes.
so it's not even about privacy in a sense, like, if someone's a private person or not. It's like, where's your manners? Where,
Hmm.
where, like, like it's just inappropriate,
Hmm.
inappropriate. Like you're in the middle of a conversation with two other people, like right there, that is inappropriate. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yes. And
So,
don't get me wrong, I have been inappropriate at times. You know?
well, we all have the learning curve, right? But,
Yes.
but to be sensitive to how this information is going to be received and to, take care of that, be responsible with that information to the best of your ability.
Right, exactly. We in I don't want to say in my defense, I'm not making an excuse here, and but it was just like I saw something and it was just like, whoa, whoa, it was too deep for the person.
Yeah.
And it was just like it was inappropriate, but I was curious, I was fascinated by what I saw, and it's just like, well, okay, no, we're good. And I'm like, okay, gotcha, we're good.
Yeah. 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 Yep.
Anyway, again, a learning process for everybody, and so
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
just,
I'm glad. I'm
yeah.
glad. I'm glad you brought this up. So it's 12:24.
Okay.
So let's bring Sue on and help her the best way we can.
Okay.
Let me see. And I know we'll continue this conversation at a later point. Let's see. We'll get her on.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Becky. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. As
Good,
well as
good.
can be.
Hi,
So,
Sue.
Hi.
This is
so
Erica.
Hi, Erica. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So, Sue, I turned your video off. We just want to use audio.
Okay.
Yeah, so welcome, welcome. We both reviewed the email that you sent and we'd love to help you and want to be respectful of the fact that this will be like a public file on YouTube.
Okay.
All right. But how can we help you today?
Well, let's see. Gosh, I I've been trying to discover lately why I've had these strange symptoms since about 2021 up until uh about a month ago. Um, and those symptoms occurred twice. Um, and the symptoms are very, very strange to
Okay, can
me.
you can you share what the experience is?
So yeah, okay. Let's see. I'm thinking, hence the hesitation in how do I articulate it quickly in interest of time and such. So I had strange things happen, like I was wearing like socks to bed. I wore a bra to bed. I I did not shower for at most like 7, 8 days. This is the strangest thing, and I'm
Mhm.
very, very ashamed, kind of, but not really, because came and went overnight twice. And each time lasted about 9 months, 10 months. And I had a food aversion, and I love food. I've gained weight, I've lost weight. I love food. Food is great.
Mhm.
It's not like it's not like a strange background thing in my family. My apologies, the background for the phone. Um, and lastly, I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go outside. And it was very unusual. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, twice, I woke up and I had very close friends too, were witness to this. And it was a matter of exploring, okay, is it psychological, and why, and what was happening and so forth. And I was very present to, gosh, I'm not depressed. I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I wasn't anything. I was blank. And that was
Hmm.
the scariest part to me because I'm very normally enthusiastic, um, explorative, social, and so forth. And so I kind of attributed it to perhaps I was pre-grieving, if that's such a thing. I'm not quite sure. My parents both have since passed. God
Mm.
bless them both, and they're in a lovely, lovely place, and they're safe, and I love it. Not that they're gone, but mixed feelings there. I'm okay.
Mhm.
So a pre-grieving seemed worse than grieving, to be honest. I was so worried about their health, their medical situation,
Yeah.
their wherewithal living situation, and elder planning, and so on and so forth.
Hmm.
And to the point where, my gosh, I'm like, am I making myself sick? So I got so anxious and I was pacing and sweaty and I just shut down physically and mentally and
Hmm.
in feeling wise those two times. And they have since lifted, thank goodness gracious.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And I'm in that lift right now and I
Mhm.
never want this to come back ever. I was describing to a gal, Mary, I'm not quite sure listener wise if that makes any sense, but a mutual friend of ours,
Hmm.
something this, and she thought to perhaps put us in touch, and that's where I am now.
Okay.
I have some symptoms, some strange other symptoms now that things have lifted. Blurry eyes, my ears ring, and my voice changes. It goes in and out, high and low, and almost like as if I sound like I have laryngitis, and it just comes and goes.
Okay. All right. So that's a good starting point. Thank you. I think if I if I
So,
if I can give Erica the floor first and she can support you and then we'll take it from there. How does that sound?
Perfect. I
Okay.
hope I
okay.
didn't go on too long, but that's
Nope.
No.
perfect.
Nope. So is this more kind of a reading of what happened previously, or are you kind of looking to just move forward?
I'm totally looking to move forward
Okay.
with the big caveat, not big, well, big, yeah, because it's my health, which is
Mm-hmm.
priceless to me. Um, the remaining symptoms, the physical, the blurry eyes, the eerie ringing, the voice changes, and then I still have a little bit, and this is really strange to me, a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of getting in the shower. It's,
Mm-hmm.
and that's so unusual.
Mm-hmm.
I
No, that's kind of
don't
completely
know.
understandable because there are certain things where like the basic things, washing dishes, getting in the shower, like doing things, taking care of oneself. There
Mm,
are times where it feels like you have to move mountains just to do it, and
mm,
that's a real thing. And
mm,
so, energetically moving forward, looking at your energy right now, it almost looks like you're uh, straddling. It's funny. I used this comment earlier, straddling two worlds, but yours is it appears to be a past life. Um, what appears to be happening is there was a trauma that occurred in a past life that is stored in your cellular. It's stored cellularly inside of you.
mm.
So there are times when it gets triggered that it causes your body to react in certain ways. And in this one, it looks like it caused a fault. Because you know how the nervous system and the brain works together. The nervous system gives the brain signals to
Yes.
perform its functions.
Uh-huh.
There's a part of your nervous system that is not communicating with your brain. And that's called like an information processing fault. And so what happens is we make your brain aware of this. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading it as I look, so I'm trying to explain the picture that I'm seeing. So
Okay.
the trauma that is stored cellularly for you, when it gets triggered, oh, it's when it not doesn't get triggered. It's kind of just sits in your system. And so there's a blind spot for your brain. Oh, okay. And so you know when you put a tea bag into water, so if you
Yes.
imagine those cells there, the tea bag will, dirty the water a little bit. So
Hmm.
those cells are kind of doing that to your brain. So it's sending different types of messages to your brain. So it's not always going to be the same thing. Oh, that's really fascinating. I'm sorry. I apologize. But
It's fascinating to me too. I just want to be quiet so I can hear. It's great.
so what happens is the brain kind of gets blind spots. And so when it gets a blind spot, it could mean the watery eyes, it could mean digestive issues, it could mean anxiety, it could mean, so what we want to focus on are those cells and to look at those cells and why that your body feels it was necessary to carry them and then clear the communication from your nervous system to your brain. Does that make sense?
It full on does, yes. Yeah.
Okay, because so it's almost like you're getting misfiring synapses kind of thing where it's like, oh, you know what? Oh, and this is what I love about that movie. What is it? It's not In and Out or something like that where it has all the emotions in the person's
Yeah.
head.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. The
because that is
Disney one,
so
yeah.
true. It's
Oh,
the perfect example of how the brain works. It's like,
oh,
okay, we're not getting the message over here, so this isn't happening. So we need to look at the brain and the nervous system connection and figure out why and where that brain is misfiring. But
okay.
first, we should probably look at the cells. I don't know if you see anything with those cells, Becky, or we could
I
just kind of
haven't,
go.
yeah, I haven't even tuned in, because I want to give you the floor and then
Mhm.
see where it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, we could work on those cells. I don't know if You know what? I can just kind of go in and look at those. It's nothing that you really, I was going to say you need to be aware of, but okay, you took it with you so that you wouldn't forget. So we want to be sure that, all right, I'm going to pull out my pendulum here. Do. Okay, I'm just going to test for a minute here because
Okay.
part of me is like, okay, well, why are those cells there? You took them with you for a reason so you wouldn't forget. And so is it because you didn't want to remember? Or let's see. Or you just wanted to protect yourself?
Wow.
Does she need protection in this lifetime from it? No. Is it okay to let those go? Yes. Okay, so it's okay to sever that connection you have with that so that you move forward not holding on to something that you thought you would need to protect yourself.
Wow. I feel like I do that now in everything.
Yeah.
I write everything down so I don't forget.
Yeah.
And
And
sometimes, for
sometimes
example, to protect myself, because I need like information on the fly in,
yep.
in situations. That's kind of wow. 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 I'm gonna
and,
cry.
and that's it's okay to let it go. It's
Okay.
okay to say I don't remember. It's okay to say I don't have the answer, or and it's okay to just be you. You don't have to know everything at every moment at every time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It it does. I'm like happy tearing now. It's I don't I
Wonderful.
don't have an avatar, but wow, this is amazing. You guys. Oh wow.
So yeah, definitely let yourself off the hook with that because you're here to live and just explore. Because a lot of times what happens is when we try to remember everything, we don't leave room for the new to come in.
Mhm.
um what may be helpful is just kind of creating a list. Okay, I need to eat breakfast, I need to shower, I need to brush my teeth, I need to do these things for any given day, or I need to go to a doctor's appointment, or I need to go grocery shopping, that kind of thing. But like your basic needs of what you need to
Yeah.
get done as a checklist, and
Mm-hmm.
then everything else doesn't matter.
Amen.
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I've been getting in the shower and I put a laundry in and I got present to me and I'm like, this isn't selfish. This is self-preser not preservation, but I don't know what the word. And I did that just now and I didn't know if we were going to be on a video or just the audio or so I just did my hair lightly and to be, okay and but I felt pleasure in it actually because it's been quite some time and I don't care about my grays and I don't care,
Yep, exactly.
and and I got some water and I just sat quiet and I've been loving the quiet and I'm in a lot of learning curves
Hmm.
on different life subjects that are all at once.
Hmm.
But I've never been so peaceful and so clear, and I love it. And I'm like, whatever's happening, keep it. I don't know.
Yay. Oh, that's really wonderful. That's really wonderful to hear. I'm so happy for you.
I thank you. I attribute it to whatever's happening in brain wise. I had a recent MRI, but I don't know. I don't want to explore it too much. I'm
Hmm.
not into self-diagnosis. I'm
Hmm.
rather more like whatever's going on, let's keep it.
Yep, exactly. And that's you kind of just owning your life and like, this is me. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or anybody else does or
Oh
what I
no.
think.
Yeah,
It's just,
never cared with that, but go ahead. Sorry
yeah,
to
nope,
interrupt.
nope, not at all. This is about you. This is your life. This is how you're going to walk through it.
Right on.
And making the choice to do that. It's kind of funny. I'm going to just check here and see. Yeah, I don't see that you have that past life. You're holding on to that anymore. So it looks
Nice.
like you let that go. And now that you're aware and your brain is aware of connecting with your nervous system and your brain, that should, over the next few days, kind of help alleviate itself. And just remember, too, I hate using this analogy, but it is true. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So if for some reason at some point, and it's going to happen because everything does come in layers, that it's going to come back up, but just know, just sit again and just be with yourself and just know that no, this is me. This everything's okay. Even though it feels like I've backtracked a little bit, everything's okay because you're still moving
Okay.
forward.
Okay. I've been even in my car, I pull the window down and I blow out.
Yay!
And I let whatever go. I was actually in the tow truck with AAA recently, and
Hmm.
it's funny, say misfire because I have a hybrid and they're saying
Hmm.
it's a misfiring.
Yeah.
I'm cracking up. I don't know if you heard me before.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I was in the tow truck too, and he goes, "Mind if I vape?" And I said, "No." And he's driving, and I said, "Mind if I blow out negative energy?"
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just my thing to get it out because it was
It's
terrible phone
funny.
calls from salespeople, car salespeople calling me in the middle of a
Mhm.
trauma.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I do the same thing. Even after I work on somebody or do something,
Oh,
I just blow it off. It's just
oh,
blown out. Yep, it's a real
yeah.
thing. It
Well,
works.
that's lovely. I just felt compelled to do it.
Perfect. Is there anything else we can help you with, or Becky, is there something you want to?
Well, yeah, let me see real quick. So, I don't know how this fits in, but the herb sarsaparilla is coming through. That would be helpful for you. Um, Let me see. And that we could
Or
discuss that at a later point, like what that looks
Okay,
like.
okay,
And there was something. Yeah, let me give you a couple more. Berberine is coming through,
okay,
and I don't know how this fits in, but carnitine. Yeah, so we can go into that more specifically. If you remind me, like send me an email, say what, how should I take this or what should I take? Those three are coming in, and let me see.
yeah, your body lights up when she mentions those, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so those three, let's just figure out which one, like what brand and the quantity, and I would want to see like what other products you're taking so there's no, interactions with that.
okay.
All right.
Just coffee. I have no supplements and no thing, but I'll chat with you another time in the interest of you guys' time and professionalism. I highly respect you both. My goodness
Aw.
Thank you.
gracious.
Well,
Thank
what's
you for
so
volunteering to come on, and so really appreciate your time too.
Thank you. Likewise. That's big hugs.
Aw, happy healing, and we'll be in
Yeah.
touch.
Thank you guys so much.
You're
You're welcome.
welcome.
Hey, you take care now.
You too.
Okay. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so Linda is waiting. 1 second.
Do I poke on leave meeting you guys or what do I do?
Um, you can hang up, I guess. I have
Oh,
another caller.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Don't want to interrupt. Okay.
that's okay.
I'm figuring out, I'm putting on my glasses because of the blurriness. Okay, here we go. Awesome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Linda's coming on. Linda.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Linda.
Linda.
How
Um,
are you?
yeah, thanks for coming on and we got your email, and yes, there's no video. We just want to help and support you. We have like 15 minutes. Y- you know, I just want to thank you for participating. So if you want to just share with us what you'd like help with, like if you could put it maybe in one, like pick one thing that you'd like to be relieved from, or I don't know how you want to word it based on time, but you go for it.
Well, thank you for including me in this podcast. I appreciate your insights and stuff. As I said in my email, I'm sort of all over the map. But for right now, as you know, Rebecca, I'm supposed to have a hysterectomy because I have precancerous or cancerous conditions of my uterus. And discussions with you are that you don't think this is the problem, that taking my uterus out isn't necessarily going to solve the problem. And so I vacillate, or I struggle with, what is the right decision to do. I don't have the confidence that you have in the process to say no to the medical procedure. I'm trying to look at it that this is sort of buying me time to sort of shift more towards your sort of approach to healing. So as I said in my email, focusing a lot on sort of just the spiritual healing. That I'm looking at this as a big wake up call to make changes. And I've talked to you for years, so you know me, and so I talk like this all the time, and then I never do anything. So anyway, so is that enough information?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Well, just to kind of brief the audience and brief Erica, because you and I know each other the most. So okay, let me see. The one thing I just, Erica, can I
Is it
go? Yeah, you if you want to start because my first thought is let's just understand that this date that has been set is
okay?
not fixed. It's not,
Okay, but can
yeah,
I interject even before that a little bit?
absolutely.
Um, because when you first came on and you said you were all over the map and it was hard to kind of just figure out just one thing that you wanted to talk about, but I think being all over the map is one issue as well.
oh, right.
And
Right.
so I think it's important to really look at that too, because it's hard to make any decisions, regardless of what they may be, when you are all over the map, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yes.
And so I think maybe the first thing we may want to look at is centering yourself, because when you're in a place of centeredness, those decisions come easily. They're kind of a no-brainer. And
Hmm.
so, but when you are all over the map, and I've been there as well, it,
We've all
you
been
can,
there.
yes, any decision seems like the biggest decision. And I'm not minimizing any decisions that you have to make or anything like that, but I think the biggest thing is just to come to center and really be still,
Right,
because
which
when you're
I
still is when the intuition comes in and your voice comes in. You could hear your own voice.
Yeah.
It's like you could take all the information that you receive and then make a decision for you.
but I will say, for me to be still, all it does is give license to my brain and chaos to just go off like a rocket. Um, it's like yesterday I had a Reiki session, and you would think that would be an opportunity for me to be still. And it was, oh, I can be still to think about all the things I need to be doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and not grounding myself. So as Rebecca knows, I resist, or I struggle with meditation and all that stuff. So I hear what you're saying. And yesterday I even went and tried to ground myself, went for a walk, and then stuck my feet in the grass to sort of ground myself.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Nope, no, 'cause I can see that you're very intuitive and you're very in tune with everything. And it's almost learning to shut off, because you are very connected to the Akashic field as well. And so all this information is kind of coming in at all times. And like you said, when you're still, you get even more. So I see what you're saying with that. And it's almost, have you tried like just focusing on one thing for a period of time to help train your brain to just
okay. I haven't
You
tried
just
that. I'll
center.
try that.
It's funny because it's almost even as easy as sitting and looking at your thumb and only focusing on your thumb for 5 minutes at a time. And when something else comes in, you focus back on your thumb.
I want to just to make light of, I've in this past month have found myself going through like periods of like total chaos and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, sitting at the, and I think it has to do with the details of the internet and technology and all this, and I lose my effing mind. And so what I've been doing is I go outside, I force myself to lay out in the sun. And like almost like a giving myself a timeout. And I just lay there in the sun and my body is screaming and I'm like resisting it and fighting it. And then it
Mhm.
quiets down and everything is fine. Literally, like if I just force myself to just lay here, the brain chemistry changes, all the brain waves change, and all is well.
Yeah, no, that's been difficult for me too. It's just like, okay, run, run, run. And then it's like, and then, I mean, I literally sit down to try to just sit, and the world is just like, it gets so uncomfortable. And then I
Yep.
actually start crying sometimes because it's like, I feel like I'm in the, the bad corner or something. It's because I can't, but then after
Mhm.
I get past the sadness or anger that comes out, there's a stillness.
Mhm.
But I know you came on with a specific question, and I don't know if that's something that we or I personally can give you an answer to as to yes or no. But that's why it's so important to kind of just sit with what your choice is, given all the information that you receive from every point of everything. It truly needs to be your decision, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I should have prefaced that I'm not looking for you. I know you guys can't tell me what to do at all, especially any kind of diagnostic stuff. And I'm more looking for the spiritual support, how to shore myself up spiritually, emotionally, and even physically, if to go through this procedure. And Rebecca knows that this Friday I'm heading to Scotland for 10 days,
Mm-hmm.
which is an opportunity for me to sort of um, change my whole perspective because I'm changing my environment.
Yes, walks along the cliffs. What came up when you said how to support yourself? Walking.
Yeah.
Actually, walking looks really good for you. And
Okay.
then being in a different environment and a beautiful environment out with nature, if you can be near the ocean, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
That will help support you being centered within yourself, and will help you to prepare yourself for whatever you decide.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll be I don't know if I'll be near the ocean, I think, but
Mm-hmm.
in one place, but and I'll be with family and stuff. So it's gonna be I'm trying to shift my perspective of being freaked out because I haven't traveled in a long time, being worried and anxious, to just being able to stop and at a certain point in the next couple of days and say enough. I just need to shift to get to a place of just gratitude and grace, that I have this huge, amazing opportunity to go to some place which I've always wanted to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it will be important to keep your own voice as well. So like
okay.
if people or the group, they want to go do something, but you're feeling like, oh wait, no, I need to kind of just sit for a minute. You need to be able to say, I need to sit for a minute.
Oh, and that'll be easy because my family, they're golfers and I am not. So they will be going
Okay.
off and golfing. So I will definitely have time for whatever I need to do for me. You
Okay,
know.
good. It's that strong voice there. Wonderful. Becky, was there anything you wanted to look at, or?
Yeah, let me tune in for Linda. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. So one of the statement "I can't" is echoing. I
Yep.
can't, fill in the blank. I can't. That's what's being broadcasted like on a loop.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, let me see what's behind the I can't. It's like present life. Yeah. Okay, and this is actually from the womb. Like you don't know any different. I see it being like what you were born into.
Okay.
Like at the 3 month mark in utero. So, I mean, I always go to EFT. So understand that it wasn't yours per se, but something you absorbed from that environment that you took on. So what if you start talking to yourself, doing some EFT and start talking to yourself and just practice hearing the vibration of I can. Just play with that.
Okay.
Like throw it in your database. Like why not? Why not?
Mhm.
Right? I can. All right, let me see what else. And then the word frantic is coming up too. I would sit with that one with EFT. Even though I feel frantic, I love and accept myself. That's a big word for some reason. That is actually the word frantic. I'm seeing that you adopted into your psyche as an identity. So it's not just a feeling to you, you reverence it with your sense of self. So that's something else you'd want to look at and rewire or recontextualize. Frantic. Let me just see where frantic comes in. When you were around 5, 6 years old, I see that word coming on. Maybe because of school starting, who knows? That's a common one.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you have to keep holding on to it just because your 5 or 6 year old created that. You can let that identity go. And what if you adopted a new identity of I am calm, right?
Okay.
It's just how you show up in the world, right?
Okay.
Let me see. Let's look at Erica. Let's look at her resistance.
Okay, it's really funny that you say that because I've been holding my tongue in a way to because ever since you kind of started talking, it's like the Queen song "I Want to Break Free" has been playing over and over and over in my head.
Well, I think it's worthy of us tag teaming this resistance because Linda describes herself as like the most resistant person on the planet, and
Yeah.
my words, but
Mhm.
right.
Yes. No.
Yes,
So
but it's funny because it's like you're not being resistant. How do you explain it? It's like there's a person inside of you that just wants to break free,
Yes.
but yet you're not allowing her to break free.
Yep.
And so I highly recommend, if you can, listening to the Queen song
Okay.
and then trying to like look at this girl's 7. So what happened at 7 when she's like in this membrane, like, and she just wants to get out, but you put this protective membrane around her to kind of protect herself. And so something occurred when you were 7 years old that caused you to be like, oh my God, no, I have to put this girl here so nothing could ever touch her. But she is wanting to break free now. Like she is ready to break free. But part of you doesn't trust her, even though it is you.
Right.
And so communicating and doing some inner child work, and I kind of see you with a stuffed animal or a doll, and just kind of loving on her, talking to her, trusting her, and letting her know that, yes, there may be a chance you may get hurt, but yes, I see that you want to break free and I will protect you. But there's part of you that as an adult doesn't think you will be able to.
Okay.
So does that resonate at all? Is there anything in your adulthood that may think of like why, like say you have like a small child in your life right now,
No.
would there be a reason why you wouldn't be able to protect her?
I don't. I can't answer that specifically. First of all, I don't have anything specific about when I was 7 that
Okay.
I can remember, but also I have a real deep lack of trust of me overall. And so, and I do say, if there's an adult in me, I don't know where the adult is. So, I mean, I always say my inner kids are driving the bus and the adult is on the back of the bus trying to stop the bus. I mean, outside,
that
it's not
makes
going
perfect
so
sense.
well.
That makes perfect sense because the child wants to drive the bus. She wants to break free, but
Right,
yet the adult is saying no.
right.
So this is where it would be good to have an inner dialogue. I don't know if you have pets. You could use a pet or a doll. I've found in the past that people who have used dolls, I mean, I personally have used a doll as well to kind of take care of her. I mean, to the point even where I strapped her in my car when she was driving with me.
Aw.
So to kind of say, okay, we're doing this together. We got this.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that something you think you might be able to take on?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely try that. And there's huge opportunities with, just because this trip plus the surgery is all overwhelming me in terms of where's the adult, and so there's parts of me that are terrified or feel terrified
Mm-hmm.
in our kids, and whether this is one of them, that one that wants to break free.
Mm-hmm.
There, I don't necessarily have these adult conversations. I did a lot of work with some friends through IFS, internal family systems. It's the same kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing, where it is about connecting with your parts, and trying to, with your higher self, trying to communicate with them to maybe change their coping mechanisms of protection. And it
Mm-hmm.
all comes from a place of love. And I
Mm-hmm.
struggle with believing that.
Okay.
um,
Right. So if you can find a doll or something that has a likeness to you or something that you, even as an adult, really love,
okay.
and then taking them in as a child and just talking to her and asking her what her fears are, what does she want to do today, and really kind of honoring her and who she is. Because
Okay.
that is you. Like, even if she says, like, you know what, let's go have an ice cream cone. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's have this. It's like, okay. And then to an extent, just kind of really feel and talk to her about what are you feeling? Are you okay? Do you just want to snuggle? And sometimes they just want to snuggle to feel safe.
Okay.
So have you done this kind of inner child work before or?
Not so deeply, and not with any professional or anything like that. My backstory is long, and so, but I have a couple friends. We have a book group, and we've worked on. It's sort of more of a self-help book group kind of thing, and we did spend a year going through IFS stuff. Trying to understand our parts and inner kids and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been very disciplined in doing work on my own. So, as Rebecca knows, she always gives me these great
Yeah.
to do, and I don't do
Yeah.
anything.
But just if you could have, yes, but if you could have this doll visible, like you don't have to like you could, it depends on you and how much you want her in your life. For me, for instance, I had my doll on my bed, and so, but she was always visible,
Right.
you know, and or you could have her on your couch, or you could bring her with you, that kind of thing. But it's just giving a presence and to your inner child that needs the healing,
Mhm.
and and
Okay.
making that connection.
Okay.
Awesome. So, thank you so much, Erica. And we're just about out of time though, but we can all communicate after the podcast anyway. But Linda, I hope this was helpful.
No, it definitely was, and I just appreciate what I think drives a lot of this is that part that wants to break free. That's why I talked to you, Rebecca. I was thrilled when you said, yes, let's join this podcast, because I'm always looking for ways to do things differently and not be in those, what I call the rat race of the messaging from society and whatever. And how do I stand up for so you talk about that voice, that strong voice. I need to have that strong voice for me.
Yes.
Not for anybody else. So
Yep. And then caring for yourself, the doll, your inner child, that could be your form of meditation too, to bring yourself to center. So
okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that idea. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I enjoyed today very much.
Thank you.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. So happy healing, everybody. And yeah, we'll just wrap it up. I think this was good. And we can talk for probably 5 hours, you and I, Erica.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. That's so true. The energy is flowing.
So Linda, you can get in touch with us afterwards and we'll support you in any way that you need.
Okay, good. Well, and I think you and I are talking anyway this week, so
Good.
I'll
All
be
righty.
with you. So, and thank you, Erica. I really appreciate your insights
absolutely.
and look forward to connecting in the future.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. And I love your podcasts.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really do. I love them. So, okay. So I should sign off.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
you.
you. Have a nice rest of the day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so it's just us. Yeah, I do have to get going, but I think this was fantastic. I'm so glad that people appreciate us collaborating like this.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah.
I think we're a really good team. A very good team.
We are. We're a very good team.
Yes.
But yeah, so for the audience, if you want to we're taking new callers. I don't know when we're going to do another recording, but please get in touch with us and let us know if you're interested in having us give you a reading. We're only going to take like 1 or 2 people per call just because it gets to be too much, and Erica and I are selfish and we want to talk amongst ourselves and we have a good time, just the 2 of us.
Yeah. We were talking about how heavy it was today, and yeah, I wanted to dive into that a little bit. So, but I know we're out of time. I will respect that.
Yeah, but we can certainly talk after. It's just briefly, the heaviness. I don't know where I could say that the solstice was, I think, the hot moment, that kind of brought things to the surface for me personally. I don't know how you feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also went on a walk and did this huge meditation, and yeah, I was infused with some incredible energy from the sun yesterday. So
nice.
I'm a little more grounded than I was the day before. How's that?
Yeah, I feel like I can't get enough. That's awesome. I can't get enough of I just want to lay on the ground, soak up the sun indefinitely. So, but yeah, you and I can talk personally, off the record, off the recording, but thank you everyone. And, stay tuned for another episode. God only knows what we're going to talk about, but we will inform you. Thanks
Have a
again.
good one. Bye.